boys and girls. I'm Nana Rose. Today's book is called Floss. This is by Kim Lewis. Now, if you don't know, this kind of dog is called a border collie. And border collie are used for sheep herding or playing with balls. Floss, for John Mitchell and Floss, by Kim Lewis. Border collies are very smart dogs. Floss was a young border collie who belonged to an old man in a town. She walked with the old man in the streets and loved playing ball with children in the park. I love the artwork, it's very beautiful. "My son is a farmer," the old man told Floss. "He has a sheepdog who's too old to work. He needs a young dog to herd sheep on his farm. He could train a border collie like you." So Floss and the old man traveled away from the town with its streets and houses, and children playing ball in the park. They came to the heather-covered hills of a valley where nothing much grew except sheep. Somewhere in her memory, Floss knew about sheep. Old Nell soon showed her how to round them up. The farmer trained her to run wide and lie down, to walk on behind, to shed, and to pen. She worked very hard to become a good sheepdog. But sometimes Floss woke up at night while Nell lay sound asleep. She remembered playing with children and rounding up balls in the park. The farmer took Floss up the hill one day to see if she could gather the sheep on her own. She was rounding them up when she heard a sound. At the edge of the field, the farmer's children were playing with a brand new black and white ball. Floss remembered all about children. She ran to play with their ball. She showed off her best nose kicks, her best passes. She did her best springs in the air. "Hey, Dad, look at this!" yelled the children. "Look at Floss!" The sheep started drifting away. The sheep escaped through the gate and into the yard. There were sheep in the garden and sheep in the road. "Floss, lie down." The farmer's voice was like thunder. "You are supposed to work on this farm, not play." He took Floss back to the doghouse. Poor Floss. Floss lay and worried about balls and sheep. She dreamed about the streets of a town, the hills of a valley, children and farmers all mixed together, while Nell had to round the straying sheep. But Nell was too old to work every day, and Floss had to learn to take her place. She worked so hard to gather sheep well that she was too tired to dream anymore. The farmer was pleased and ran Floss in the dog trials. "She's a good worker now," the old man said. The children still wanted to play with their ball. "Hey, Dad," they asked, "can old Nell play now?" But Nell didn't know about children and play. "No one can play ball like Floss," they said. So the farmer gave it some thought. "Go on then," he whispered to Floss. The children kicked the ball high into the air. Floss remembered all about children. She ran to play with their ball. She showed off her nose kicks, her best passes. She did her best springs in the air, and they all played ball together. And that's the story of Floss. This story is sort of close to my heart because I had a border collie for many years, and my border collie was terrific with kids like you. My border collie loved to play ball, had the best nose tricks and the best passes. There was one time I was walking my dog on the school playground. This was at a time after school when he was allowed to be off the leash. And some kids were there, but they were playing soccer. And Mac, my dog's name was Mac. It was short for MacDougal. Mac started playing soccer with them, and Mac used his nose, and he actually pushed the ball into the goal. The kids thought this was the grandest thing that they had ever seen because the dog actually made a goal. So, yeah. But we got Floss from a farmer who actually trained dogs for sheep herding, so it was in Mac's DNA. It was in his memory about how to herd sheep, but instead he used it to herd balls. So this is Floss by Kim Lewis. A lot of dogs, different breeds of dogs, are trained for different kinds of work. You've heard of police dogs, of course, or seeing eye dogs. Well, border collies are used a lot for sheep herding. They're farm dogs, very useful to a farmer on the farm, but they can also be used in agility trials. So you might see a border collie doing all sorts of things, passing balls or going in and out of cones and walking along like platforms, like a playground for dogs. And so anyway, they're very, very smart dogs. So there we go. There's the story of Floss today and a little bit of education about border collies and working dogs. So whatever you do for the rest of your day today, have fun.